Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Freedom Fridays with Dana Lee. I'm your host, Dana Lee. I'm the diet recovery coach. I help women, typically over 40, heal from decades of dieting damage, on again, off again with diets, on again, off again with the weight gain, and all of the mental and emotional damage that happens. Not just metabolism. I'm talking about like how are you feeling mentally and emotionally. That is what I help women recover from and remap. So if you're here with me live, please say hello. I'm coming to you in our Facebook group, Life Beyond Dieting, which is an awesome private invite only Facebook group. And if you are watching me from YouTube, hello, hello. So I am talking about diet culture today. And the reason I want to talk about it is a lot of times I'll do videos, and I've been doing videos for so many years that talk about healing our relationship with food and our bodies and ourselves. But I felt like it was important to just circle back around to the basics and the foundation of how this all gets put into play and becomes a problem from decades ago, right? From when you're younger and how you grow into being a teenager and in your 20s and 30s and how it's so pervasive and what is going on there that's really running the show. So I thought it was important to just touch base on that. Like, what is diet culture? Because if you don't know what it is and we're participating in it unknowingly, then that is where we lose our power to do anything different and to decide, hey, you know what? I see what that is, and I don't want to participate in it. So if you're here on the replay, make sure you put in hashtag replay. And I just also want to say, before I dive into exactly what diet culture is, that if you are watching me on YouTube, make sure you turn your notifications on. And even in our Facebook group, even though I do send out an email and let you know when I'm going live, it's the same time every Friday, make sure you turn on, hey, get live notifications from Dana. Okay. All right. Awesome. So I'm excited to have you guys here on this topic. I was just listening to a podcast episode from the Skim this morning. I get the Skim because it's an easy way to just like get the topics of what's going on in the media without diving too much into news. I find that when I get too much into the news, it affects my well-being and my outlook, and I want to preserve my ability to help and hold space for my clients and my community to heal. So if I get pulled into too much of the noise, then that pulls me down and I can't be the leader that I want to be for my community. So hence the skim. So I will skim these topics, what's going on. And one of the links in that email I got from them today was to their Pop Cultured podcast, where they were talking about diet culture and, is diet culture making us sick? And it's becoming more prevalent now. They're talking about the irony of talking about diet culture in the media when the media feeds the whole perpetual problem. So that is what kind of sparked my topic today, because I felt like it's becoming a little bit more talked about and a little more mainstream. And if you've done any work with me in the past, I did the roadmap to food freedom. And I have a whole lesson in that roadmap to food freedom, specifically on diet culture and how to heal your relationship with food. So what is it exactly? I think that the problem is it's way beyond this word diet. So my definition of diet culture has to do with, hey, Cindy, hello, has to do with all of the messages that reinforce this idea that how you are right now in your body, or how you are expressing yourself, is not right and not good enough. So that really pushes beyond just weight, like body weight. And I do want to pull up my Facebook Live, by the way, because not everyone gives access to make sure that I can actually see their comments. So I want to see who is tuning in. So if you're replying or commenting, I want to make sure, oh, Dawn, it's you. Okay, hello. Okay, so anyway, I want to push the boundaries of just this idea that it's diet, because it really has to do with our any conditioning. Like, so yes, it's weight. That's what we immediately might think about with diet culture. But there are messages that however you are right now is not good enough. And this, I'm wearing the shirt for a reason. My Dana comes with warnings, F-bomb warning T-shirt my husband gave to me because I want to share a little story today about that. But it could be your age, right? It could be your size, your shape, your weight, those things. But it also could be your hair texture. Any way that we're given messages, however you are, it's not acceptable, it's not good enough, it's not right. Right? How you are is wrong. And in that message, then what ends up happening, it triggers this like, oh, well, I have to fix that. I have to fix that. I have to fix that. So where does this idea of diet culture come from? Well, there's a lot of money to be made if we think we need to solve these problems that maybe don't necessarily exist. There's a lot of money that we will dump into please just help me feel better about myself. Please just help me feel better about myself. So it could be in a certain type of clothing. It could be in a skin cream. It could be in promises of a workout program. And it all stems from this idea that, unfortunately, it's like the creator of fat phobia. Like as if being fat, having fat is a horrible, terrible thing. And if we could break apart that concept and recreate it, which is what I'm really trying to do with my work in being a diet recovery coach, really like break that apart, rebuild it, decide for yourself, like, wait a second, am I so afraid of this? What am I afraid of? Is this even real? Because I spent most of my childhood just being a kid, right? But I was very thin and just naturally thin. And I got a lot of attention from my grandmother about that. And what message that sent to me when I gained a few pounds in my teens as a late bloomer is innately, I didn't know this at the time, but subliminally, I made it mean, oh my God, if I get fat, if I gain weight, no one's going to love me. My family is going to reject me. So what if that thought was never even a thing when I was younger? Then I would never have had a fucked up dysfunctional relationship with food ever, because I wouldn't have had to even try to manipulate it. I would have been like, I'm just being a kid. I'm just maturing. I gained a few pounds. I was eating normal. I was just like, food was not a weird thing until it was made something that I had to control and manipulate and restrict and then feel guilty about and feel bad about myself and all of that stuff. So then when that construct of that problem got put into place, all of the fucked up behavior followed. And it affected so many parts of my life. And I mean, I'm blessed that it brought me into being in the fitness career that I've had and the fun I've had meeting clients and teaching kickboxing and building a gym. And I've done it's amazing. I mean, really, I have such an amazing career. And now I've shifted the last few years to understand, like, holy shit, there's so much damage being done because of our fat phobic society that I now feel called to, I feel a responsibility to be part of how do we heal? How do we come out of that and put ourselves back together based on like, what is it we want, right? Like, how do you take the power back for you? With everybody else telling you what's good, what's bad, what's acceptable, including our trackers. The tracker will tell you outside of yourself what's good for you. And I'm here to try to bring you closer to the connection of you and accepting you for who you are, finding out who are you? What do you even like? Do you like these things? Do you not like these things? And then the side effect from that is healing your relationship with food and your body. So anytime you see something that comes up on your news feed or your it's Instagram, you're out and about, whatever that is, to help you understand your the participation, whether you want to participate or not, or really see it for what it is, you can ask yourself, does this reinforce the idea that there's something wrong with me? That's a powerful question. does this reinforce the idea that there's something wrong with me? If you can remember to ask yourself that question, then it puts you in a place of power to decide, like, maybe there isn't anything wrong with me. Like, what if I know better than that message, that billboard, that Facebook ad, the conversation at the table about the latest diet that somebody is on? It's like, how would I live my life if I didn't believe I was wrong about my body, about how I ate, about my existence, right? So the reason I wanted to wear this shirt for you guys today is that I did recently share, like, I don't know, within the last month or so, I had a post on how swearing actually is part of how I heal. I heal from emotional eating, or why it's an important part of the process. It has to do with my expression. I'm from Jersey. I swear when I think it's appropriate, if I want to emphasize something, right? So what ended up happening is I was holding this online event, Roadmap to Food Freedom, and someone who had attended the event coming to me for emotional eating had said, like, hey, I really think it would be smart if you didn't swear so much. And regardless of what ever her intentions are, whatever, it's not the first time someone's told me to stop swearing. It is, but it's something that I'm like, I'm not going to do that, because me suppressing my expression and how I feel like I need to say what I need to say to the world is actually part of my normal relationship with food. If there's some way that you're being told by an outside this person didn't actually know me. She didn't have time to get to know me. She didn't learn about my history, my past, how I got to where I was. She just wanted to add her 2 cents in, like, this makes me feel uncomfortable. Would you please stop doing this? And the thing is, that's part of diet culture. It is, how you are is making me feel uncomfortable. So can you stop doing that? How your body is making me feel uncomfortable. So can you lose weight? How you're aging is making me feel uncomfortable. Can you, like, fix your wrinkles? Can you not show your gray hair? That's like the underlying message there. And to which I say, fuck that. Life is happening now, man, and it's like, I'm sorry if you're uncomfortable with that, then it sounds to me like a you problem. If we could all, as women, get more comfortable saying that, that sounds like a you problem. And, so that way we can take our agency back and our power back and decide, I'm sorry that makes you feel uncomfortable for me being this way. Like, people make comments. I think more and more people are naturally going gray, which I think is amazing. If they feel good to do that. And then there's other people just add in comments like, oh God, are you going to cover up those grays? So it's like, wait a second. So you're going to comment about somebody else's grays because you feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, what? So this, again, why we're talking about it, because it's the awareness is where you can get your power back and decide, I just don't want to participate in that. I don't believe in fighting against diet culture. I want to be very clear on that. I've said it before in videos I've done. I'm not fighting against diet culture. It is not helpful. It only creates more of a problem. I decide, I see what's going on, and I disengage, and I decide, nope, I'm going to redirect. And what is it that I do want in my life? Oh, I see that's what's happening. And what is it that I do want in my life? And that is what I help my clients do too. Because, diet culture it's almost like if we are giving more, or almost giving more fuel to it, if you're raging up to resist against it. And I just think that there's more power to be had by disengaging and not buying into it and not actually giving a lot of attention to it. All right. So I did think that this topic was important to cover today, because it's pervasive. It goes back generation after generation, and it is put in place. So that way it's like, oh, if you don't believe that you're good enough, then you're going to spend a lot of money trying to fix that. And this is the other component I will leave you with before I jump off today. 15 minutes, quick one today, that it will keep you distracted from solving the bigger problems of life. and you living out your purpose and meaning. So if you continue to hold real estate in your mind about obsessing about calorie counting, macro counting, diet, what diet you're on, I got to lose weight, how much do I weigh today? That is taking away all of your attention from your skills, your talents, your abilities to participate in solving bigger issues in humanity. And that is why I feel so strongly called to do this work to help women heal. Because you're in this world to do something great and to be something great. And the more and the longer you believe you're not good enough and you're afraid of your body, the longer you're going to be, first of all, living in anguish, because it's a horrible feeling. And second of all, part of that anguish is that there's something greater inside you. You have other talents, gifts, and abilities. And so that suppresses that. And that just breaks my heart. I just can't allow that to continue. So I want to be part of the solution and the healing and the recovery from that. So that way you feel more courageous and bold and more comfortable. It's, at some point, I just want to say, like, it doesn't take as much courage for me to just show up and do things, because it's who I've become. It's just the natural, inevitable step of, like, the thing that maybe years ago I'm like, oh my God, I'd be so afraid to do. And now I'm much more comfortable doing it. It's not courage. It's just who I've become, because I'm much more certain and comfortable with myself and more confident with myself. And I'm less affected by those messages. I'm able to wean them out. So, all right. So that's our topic for today. What is diet culture exactly? They're messages from everywhere that lead you to believe however you are in the body you have and how you're expressing yourself is not okay. It's not right. And it's not good enough. So we can see that for what it is and learn to question it and say, what if I was okay? What if my body is right? It would totally change your life. So thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate you. I'm excited about our virtual dinner parties that are coming up. If you are not in on it, I am taking some feedback as to when to hold them in the future. So I do have one planned for June and July. And some of you have RSVP'd already. It was so good to see RSVPs coming through. I'm very excited about the one coming up June 14th. That's our first one. So I'm going to throw the RSVP right here in the comments. Or actually, what's easier is if you just comment VDP and I'll send you the RSVP so you can put in your information and let me know what day and time works best for you. So that way you can get in on it. Our virtual dinner party is not actually having dinner, but what it is a meaningful connection and conversation that we are going to have on emotional eating and dysfunctional eating and how that plays out in your life. And maybe this is a way for you to connect with other women in a very small group, like one or two others in small little breakout rooms. So you can actually feel comfortable that you can talk about this maybe secret thing that you've never felt comfortable talking about in this capacity. And actually wanted to do a topic on this, how important it is to be able to speak your truth and to trust whoever you're sharing it with. So that way you actually have a chance of healing it. Right. So that'll be another video I'll do in the future. But in the meantime, comment VDP if you want the RSVP and enter your information so that way you can get in on, if not the one June 14th, then one coming up in the future. That would be amazing. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a really fun event. I've got nothing to sell in this event. It's all about us getting together, you getting to know me, we get to know each other, and we can talk about this topic of emotional eating and dysfunctional eating in a safe way. All right. So that is what I'm creating for my community, rather than just you tuning in on a video, but we don't actually get to have conversations. And I'm limited. I don't want this to be a one-way conversation. I want it to be collaborative and united, because there's power in healing when we can do that. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And I will see you on the next one. Mwah.